This video explains about the pain body from the perspective of seeing the pain body and the energy of the pain body in the energy field and in the interrelationship with the emotions and thoughts with the physical body. Our pain body is composed of energy woven through our physical, mental, emotional, and energy system. This system of energy connects to us through the experiences we have throughout our lifetime that are unpleasant, that become unresolved issues. These issues are pain memories. As unresolved issues, there's emotional content that contributes to our thoughts and responses to different circumstances. In the Western model, there's now a test people can take that shows the exposure and levels of trauma that result as long-lasting imprints in our neurological system, our thinking, which create neural pathways as grooves in our consciousness and patterns of behavior, and can then contribute to a compromised immune system and illness over our lifetime. This test takes into account experiences a child has been exposed to from ages 0 through 18. It's the Adverse Childhood Experience Test and known as the ACEs score. At the end of the video, I'll provide the link for the ACEs test. I mention this test because many people don't realize experiences they've had contain emotional content that burdens them, and thus they change their behaviors and their thoughts that are restrictive. The other benefits of knowing there was an experience of trauma or repeated challenging experiences then brings it to conscious awareness. This is the very first step in the healing process and releasing the pain body. And the next step is knowing we can heal from our past because there is neuroplasticity and resiliency that allows us to reprogram our responses and heal. And neuroplasticity means that our brain and neurological system can change their responses, and resiliency means that our physical body, mind, emotions, and thoughts can also change. We no longer are the victim of patterns of behavioral responses, thoughts, but gain freedom, which is part of our spiritual awakening process of taking back our power. First, as described in the videos 20 Properties of the Energy Field Part 1 and Part 2, there is an explanation of the energy body. The energy body or energy system is deeply affected by the emotional content of all things. That is, what emotional content we assign to events we experience. This means one person can respond differently and have different emotional content to the same event as another person. Emotional content has psychological content, creating thought and thought patterns and emotional responses. Dr. Candace Pert, a brilliant molecular biologist, wrote about her groundbreaking research and the science behind mind and body medicine, psychoneuroimmunology, that verifies how our molecules respond in her book, The Molecules of Emotion. The molecules are part of our neurological, emotional, psychological, and etheric energy system. The emotions are the link between the physical body and the non-physical state of consciousness, and the receptors on every cell are where this happens. This quote is from Dr. Candace Pert. In our energy field, which is composed of the two layers of the York field, the chakras and the meridians, we conduct energy through our bodies related to the events we experience. The energy that is conducted through our energy system, thoughts, emotions, and physical body function and appear as strands of light, also called energy connections, and sometimes called cords. These strands of light enter our physical body and become patterns of responses. These patterns go unnoticed and are most of the time beneath our conscious awareness. That means when we notice our triggers of response, then we have succeeded in making progress in diminishing and eventually then removing the negative response patterns and negative energy connections that contributes to our pain body from the subconscious entanglement location. These energy connections become entangled in our neurological system and thus sustain patterns that result in emotional responses. It's like walking the same path all the time. The entanglement creates a more worn path each time we go down that pathway. These negative patterns create illness in our thoughts and emotions and physical body, and this information corroborates the statement about illness manifests first in the energy body before it is seen with the finest equipment in the physical body. The pain body and the pain body responses also block other critical innate components of being human, like our intuitive awareness. This is a critical piece. Our intuition interweaves with our emotional responses. These aberrant or unfortunate emotional responses from trauma will obscure access to our intuition because there's a trigger of thoughts and emotions that get in the way of accessing our intuitive knowing. Other aspects of the pain body block creativity, insight, inspiration, innovation, and problem solving. In the healing process of releasing the negative energy connections, there are steps to identify, release, and dissolve these connections that contribute to negative patterns. We connect to these events through energy connections or energy cords, and we're familiar with the saying, cut the cord. These cords, which I call strands of energy or strands of light or energy connections, connect through us with negative and positive experiences of high or strong emotional content. The intense emotional content are from both positive and negative experiences. We can never cut the cord because cutting or severing is a violent act that does not engage the process of compassion. Another component of identifying the patterns of energy and the individual aspects contributing to the pain body are understanding the lesson and often layers of lessons which can occur understanding over time. Then the person no longer needs to fulfill or respond from the wound, defensiveness, inadequacy, or compensation, also known as the pain body. In shamanic terms, there is an energy lost at the site of an event that must be retrieved and reintegrated, that is taking back power and a lost part of the self for healing and becoming whole. When there is awareness of the pain body and the individual components that contribute to the energy body, it reveals patterns that we don't even know are present because their imprint has been functioning for so long. There is no longer awareness of their functioning. They go beneath our awareness. In the energy field, there are multiple layers of these strands that connect through and into and from the physical form, influencing all aspects of consciousness, whether there's awareness or not. Some are much brighter than others, and other qualities define and reveal the authority and influence of their emanation. In psychological terms, these connections are to trauma, negative experiences, negative voices, negative programs, or relationships we have to ourselves and other people. These people and relationships can be to the living and non-living. Another layer of the energy connections are the familial, generational, and ancestral messages that are passed down through families that become the very fabric of the family, but are never discussed because people are often not aware of them. And these energy connections can also be secrets. However, they control our reality as individuals and as a family and collectively. We are in a time when we can bring our attention and awareness to these energy connections as messages, thoughts, and behaviors and release them, which is part of our neuroplasticity and resilience. Releasing them from the past and for the now, our functioning here and now, and the following generations, so they're not passed on. Go to twi.education/free resources for your link to the ACEs test, that's the Adverse Childhood Experience Test. Healing the Pain Body is part of the Shifting the Paradigm series. Methods for working with the pain body for people interested in releasing the energy for themselves and also for all healers is available in the Familial program. Individual sessions are also available. Thank you for listening from Transformational Wisdom Institute and Dr. Susan Sophia James at twi.education.